Okay. Yes. She's a new woman. Hello everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my fall TBR. Now I know I usually set monthly TBRs. They can always be found in my monthly wrap-ups, by the way. But I wanted to do a kind of a seasonal TBR with this one. Just books that I don't know exactly what month I'm going to read them in, but I want to read them this fall. I have a fair bit of a list, so we're just going to dive into it. Alright, so let's just start with the books that I would love to read but haven't yet been released. There are 3 on my list. I have pre-ordered 2 of them, so they will be coming to me at some point. But the first one is, of course, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I am so excited about this one. This one is by V.E. Schwab. It is, from what I understand, a story about a girl who sells her soul to the devil to be like immortal, but she is cursed by this devil to be forgotten by everybody that she meets. Until one day, a boy remembers her name. So very, very excited about that one. The next one is Sky Hunter by Marie Lu. I know nothing about this. I know that I read the synopsis when I pre-ordered it and I was like, this is so exciting, I'm so into this. But also the cover is just so beautiful, and it's Marie Lu. Like, I need to read all of her books because Kingdom of Back, as we know on my channel, is one of my favorite books of all time. So super excited about that one. The last one, this one I haven't pre-ordered because it's always been like $36 and up in Canada because it's an adult fantasy hardback. So it is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, which I am super excited about. It sounds so fun. From what I remember, it is about like a boarding school, some like really deadly powers. That's all I really remember, but I'm so excited. Let's start with the fantasy that I want to read this fall. Now, this one has been on my TBR since I read the second one in this trilogy back at like the beginning of quarantine, and that is the third Mistborn novel by Brandon Sanderson. This is the Hero of Ages. This is the last one in the first era trilogy, which is so exciting. I don't know why I haven't picked this up. I don't know why I haven't picked this up yet. But if you haven't picked up the Mistborn trilogy or series, because there are 3 in a different era afterwards, if you haven't picked these up yet, you most definitely should. They are so fun, and it's like it's like a heisty book, the first one, and there's a magic system that is so cool, and it deals with the conservation of like metals and stuff, and you can burn them, and if like your different abilities happen like when you burn, I don't know, it's fun, it's very cool, and I'm so excited to get to this third one. The next one is my I'll call it my big fantasy that I want to get to, because I also would love to get to Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. And I will eventually. He's just gonna have to sit there because Elantris is in the way. Other big fantasy that I want to get to is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I actually unhauled this book, I believe, last year because I just never thought I would get to it, but because I'm a fantasy lover, I want to know. I just really want to know, and one of my friends from university really likes it, so it is now on my TBR, and I have repicked it back up. Alright, since we're on the vein of fantasy books, we're just going to dive right into my YA fantasy books that I have on this lovely list of mine. The first one is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I wanted to read this one last October, but I don't know what it was about it. I just couldn't get into it, and the audiobook version that I had kept skipping to like a different point of view halfway through the chapter, so it was just like every time I tried it, it just wouldn't work, and I was so annoyed by it, so I just didn't read it, and this is the year. This is the year that I finally read this incredibly beloved, just across the book internet series. This is set 1920s New York. I know that there is, like, the opening scene deals with a Ouija board and the summoning of like a demon called Naughty John, and apparently it's spooky, and we deal with many different people and like different people who have like magical abilities from what I can understand. Not exactly sure. Definitely want to read this finally. If you guys remember, I started reading this book early in 2020. It is The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab, and I stopped reading it. Not because I wasn't enjoying it. I was really enjoying it. I just put it down and I stopped reading it. So I would like to read it this fall because it has that fall vibe. It's like spooky and atmospheric, and it is her debut book, so I would love to get to this as well. I feel like it'll be a better read in late September, early October, you know, that kind of vibe. But yes, definitely going to read this one finally. The next book that I have on my TBR is the second to a book that really surprised me this year. I read it early 2020, I do believe, if I remember correctly, and it was a surprise 5-star for me because YA fantasy sometimes kind of fails for me, and it was one of those books that I picked up just expecting to enjoy it but not give it high rating. But it was so good, and it is The Merciful Crow. So the second one is The Faithless Hawk by Margaret Owen. I am very excited to keep going with this trilogy. Is it a trilogy? Don't know. Possibly duology, possibly series, possibly trilogy. I have not done my research, but I'm very excited about this book because this world is just so cool, and the magic system deals with teeth, and it's so cool, and I am so excited to see this. And I just watched, I can't remember her name, I believe it's Katie. I watched her reading vlog that she read The Faithless Hawk in, or she just finished The Faithless Hawk at the beginning of it, I'm not sure, but she talked about it and she said it was even better than the first one. So I am so ready for sequels that are better than the first ones. I'm very excited for this one and I can't wait to get to it. So this next one is a book that I read the first one quite recently, just I think a few months ago, possibly this month. It was this month. It was August. Time doesn't mean anything anymore. But it was really good, and it's my continuation of my Riordan exploration. So I would like to continue the Magnus Chase trilogy, which is the Norse mythology trilogy that Rick Riordan has made with Annabeth Chase's cousin Magnus. And I don't know, I really enjoyed the first one. I think I gave it 4 stars, so I'm excited to see where it goes in this one. And then on that same vein, Ashley from A Dash with Ash, or A Dash of Ash, is doing an entire read of the Trials of Apollo series in September, and I low-key want to join her. So that's a possibility because I haven't read the Trials of Apollo, and there are 4 out right now, and the 5th one, I believe it's the last one, is coming out in October or November, one of these months coming up. So I think that would be kind of fun to join her. This is just a possibility, this is a maybe, but it's on my radar for sure. Now let's dive into some of the more adult reads. So I have 2, and then I have a few classics that I want to get to. So the first one is actually a mystery thriller type of vibe, and it is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I feel like this would be a perfectly atmospheric read for fall time because it's set on an island in Ireland, and it's like kind of Agatha Christie vibes, like And Then We Were None kind of vibes, you know? So exciting. Yeah, it's just an exclusive wedding on a remote Irish island. The bride, the +1, the best man, the wedding planner, and the bridesmaid all have a secret, all have a motive, but only one is a murderer. I'm very excited about this one, and it's short, so I feel like it would be a good time to read it this fall. The next adult literary fiction novel that I would like to read, I guess that one wasn't really literary fiction, it was thriller, but this one is literary fiction, and it is Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I picked this up this summer and I have been staring at it on my shelves, but things have just always been put in front of it because I've had readathons to do, and I didn't want to rush through this for a readathon. I really want to give it its time, so I'm excited to pick it up, hopefully in September coming up, and to really, really enjoy it. I feel like it's going to be such a good, that's the only word I can use to describe it, just a good read, you know? Alright, so for classics this fall, I have two that I've been in the middle of for like all of 2020, and I would like to finish them. So they're on this list, and then I have a third one that I would like to also read. The first one is The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. If you guys remember, I was really enjoying it, and I did the same thing with The Near Witch. I just put it down, and I don't know why I did. I got this far into it, so I need to finish it. I need to finish it so that I can read other classics without feeling guilty. Because this one's just been sitting on my TBR shelf since I picked it up, which has been months and months and months and months ago. I don't even know when I picked it up. I would have to look at my Goodreads, but it's been so long. So I need to finish this one. And in that same vein, this is gonna be my Mammoth. This is my Everest for the last few months of 2020. I borrowed this book from my friend in 2019 with the purpose of reading it right away, because I was not daunted by its size. Then I started reading it, and I am now daunted by its size. I am 286 pages into this book, and I have about, I don't know, 1,100 pages total to get through. And that is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. This book is going to be my Everest, I swear. I want to finish this one because every time I've seen my friend now who lent me this book, she works at my piano studio, she goes, have you finished Count of Monte Cristo yet? And I'm like, no, I'm still only 200 pages in. So I need to finish this one. It's not like I'm not enjoying it. It's very good. It gives me like Robin Hobb flavor, just without the magic. Like, it gives me that kind of flavor with like the adventure and the islands and that kind of stuff, but it's just so long. I have all of this left to go, and the print is really tiny, and yes, but I will finish this in 2020, I swear. If it takes me until December 31st, I will do it. I will do it, but I want to keep reading this fall for sure. And the last book on this list is actually a read that I've wanted to read for a long time, but I've decided to actively read it now that the movie adaptation is coming out onto Netflix, I believe in October. I might be wrong, but that is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. It's on the spine, it's not on the cover, but Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I also have this cover, but my copy's a little wrecked, but we'll just hold both of them up. That works. This is a Jane Eyre retelling, and Jane Eyre is my favorite classic, but this has also been deemed a classic too because it's been written so long ago. I really want to know what it's about, and I know that Desi from Darling Desi has read and absolutely adored this. I believe it was her favorite book of 2019. So I have high expectations, and I know I'm going to love it because it's got all that flavor that I love from Jane Eyre and like the Regency era type stuff, even though this is set, I believe, in late Victorian era. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I would like to read this before the movie is released so that I can read it and then watch the adaptation. Because the adaptation has Lily James and Armie Hammer in it, so very excited about that. All right, friends, that is it. That is all for the books that I would like to read this fall. I say it is all. It's a lot of books, it's a lot of pages, and a fairly good array. There are other books that I would really like to read, but these are the ones that I'm going to prioritize this fall season, just because, why not, right? Anyways, friends, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below 1 or 2 books that you are prioritizing this fall, or that you think are really good fall reads for people to read. And I will catch you in another video soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.